we're gonna share this map, right, Dave?
Yes, most definitely.
And just I want to say right at the top, first of all, welcome to On the Fringe. I'm Gavin. This is Dave. This map was sent to me by a good friend of the podcast. Thank you, Stuart. We appreciate this. We are currently looking at a map of various travel advisories that have been released by different countries about the country of Burkina Faso. Do you want to say anything, Dave?
Yeah, so Burkina Faso is a small country in West Africa, and we
Hmm.
actually did a podcast a little bit about the
We did.
country.
We
That
did.
very end of season two, I forget the episode, but it's very end of season two. It was our last episode, and I highly recommend you guys listen to that if you'd like to hear more about what's going on in the country. We actually did it with Stuart as well, the guy who sent us the
Yeah.
map. So Stuart does know what he's doing in terms of talking about the country and sending this map. It was a very, very kind gesture. It's very interesting to look at this. A lot of countries in Europe and the United States and Australia are essentially saying don't go, but you have other countries like China, Japan, which are saying, there are parts of it that are maybe okay. The different, I guess, I don't know what the
Shading.
word is. Yeah, different shadings, different colors on the
Different
map.
shadings. So this map will be attached to this episode. Um, if you look at the map, there are three shades. So you have dark red, which is extreme risk. You have sort of orange red, which is high risk, and you have yellow, which is medium risk. And it's worth noting, I think there's only one map that colors in two parts of Burkina as medium risk, and that's the Spanish map, which is just kind of fascinating in a lot of different ways. In the Spanish map, or the Spanish sort of threat barometer map of Burkina Faso, the two main cities, Bobo Dioulasso and Ouagadougou, they are shaded as medium risk. The surrounding territory is mostly orange, medium risk. And then the sort of fringes of the country, though actually most of the Northeast, that's bright red. That's no go. What's also dark red is the road linking the two main cities, which I just find that little red thread totally fascinating.
Yeah, and then you look at the German map, and the German map, everything is red apart for that road
The road.
in the two cities.
Oh, it's just like, okay. So what's your theory about that, Dave? Because I know you have one.
So my theory, if you look at the Chinese map, so the Chinese map is not red, and you were talking about this a second ago. So
Hmm.
the Chinese have the capital and the other major city as being go areas, but it's impossible to go by land between those two cities. The Chinese, I don't know for sure, but my guess is the Chinese built that road, so they don't want that road to be marked as red. So they have a piece of territory between those two cities that has been marked as red.
I
It's
mean, this is all speculation. We
yeah,
we literally this is
we're spitballing here.
we're spitballing. We're just looking at this, but I think the big message from all of these maps is the actual government control of Burkina Faso is, I would say, extremely limited. If you look at the map that most countries are following, um, basically the government has no control over the country except the main city of Ouagadougou and maybe Bobo Dioulasso, depending on who you ask. Uh, Even in the most, I would say, optimistic scenarios from the Polish and the Chinese, which is just an interesting combo, they still don't have control really over, I would say, 50% of the country. So this is bad. And it's worth noting that across the board right now, whether you're in Mali or Niger or Burkina, the War against jihadist groups is not going well. And this map provides all the evidence you need. And Burkina, like the government of Niger, like the government of Mali, they have pulled out every possible military stop. They have brought in Russian mercenaries. They have brought in Chinese military equipment. They have mobilized, particularly in the case of Burkina, they have mobilized these vast paramilitary groups of conscripts to sort of surge the front lines. And boy, you look at this map and it ain't working.
Or you look at it and go, we don't know how well it's working, so we're just going to mark everything as red. We don't have anything on the ground.
And that highlights something which you can talk about, which is just
Yeah,
man, total lack.
there's a lack of intelligence and there's a lack of actual reporting of what's going on
Yeah.
the ground in this country in specific parts of it. This is something to watch. And going through and looking at the different shades and colors, okay, why does Poland have half of it is being orange? And then I would say, do the Poles actually have intel on what's going on in this part of the country? Or do they figure that nobody's going to go? Or have they just not updated it in a while? I mean,
Which I think is very possible.
which is possible. I mean, this could be so
Yeah.
far off their radar where they're not even considering Burkina Faso is an important place to visit. And it could be too where the Anglo countries are going, well, we are not going to be able to focus a lot of resources on this part of the world. We're just going to mark it
Yeah.
as red and we're just going to be done with it. We're going to let it go. And we're going to tell people don't go over there and we'll do what we have to do to keep the embassy open. But other than that, we don't want people being in harm's way.
And still, just the difference between the Germany map and the Spain map is just eating at me
Hmm.
because they are literally diametric opposites. And I'm trying to figure out why.
Except for the two cities, except for Oago and Bugu.
Except for the two cities. The two cities are the same, and literally everything else is the exact opposite. And it's just funny. It's just funny to look at that next to each other. But yeah, anyways, this is a great visual aid. This is I think, a demonstration of the learning value inherent in maps. And keep an eye on this country because I suspect sooner rather than later it'll be in the news. So keep an eye out, stay safe out there, and thanks for listening to On the Fringe.